So today we're going to have a little bit of fun with color, especially some of my favorite colors like opera pink and bright orange. We're going to be painting pink lemonade. So if you're the kind of person who likes to make lemonade out of lemons, stick around. I'm going to teach you how to do it in watercolor. So if you're new here or you don't know me, my name is Paige. I'm the Chief Pixel Pusher and Paintbrusher over at Gumption. And today I'm going to teach you how to paint lemonade, pink lemonade with ice cubes and all, in watercolor. So this is what the finished product will look like. I found this image on Unsplash. It's actually by Amy Shamblin. She's a very talented designer and photographer, and I just loved it for its vibrant color, and you know, it's got hot pink in there, opera pink, so that's gonna suit me just fine. And so I wanna make sure I give her proper credit. Let's get to painting. I'm using QoR watercolor paints and Daniel Smith. So I have transparent Pyrrole orange, Hansa yellow for a light yellow, Quinacridone magenta, Daniel Smith Moonglow, Daniel Smith opera, QoR Indian yellow, Holbein mineral purple, Daniel Smith Quinacridone coral, and a little bit of Alizarin crimson. First off, I'm going to use my masking liquid pump marker just to draw over where the white areas are going to be, where I want them totally white. And what's nice about this particular brand is it's blue, so you can easily see it. And then I am going to do kind of a round robin technique where I do a wash with one color. This particular color is yellow. It's a light Hansa yellow. More water, not too much pigment. Here I'm lifting pigment a little bit to give it a highlight. Next, I'm going to paint everything that's going to be pink with a light wash of opera pink. Here I'm adding a little bit of Quinacridone coral, but everything else is this opera pink, a light wash. Next, I'm going to do the shadow, and I really love doing it with these flat brushes like this. It just makes it so smooth. This is Moonglow that I'm using for the shadow. You know, the adage, warm light, cool shadows. And I didn't realize this at the time, but as I was doing these sugar cubes, I'm putting the shadow on the wrong side. So I will rectify that later. But here you can see I'm adding more yellow. This is more concentrated mixture of Hansa yellow, just to add a little extra kick to these lemons. What I'm really shooting for with these is creating form. Next I go in with my warm yellow, or my Indian yellow, that's a little bit darker, a little bit warmer. And this really helps create form. Now you can do this wet and wet. I'm doing this wet on dry in layers. And I'm adding some pink into my glass to start giving it some shape and dimension. This would be opera pink and some Quinacridone coral. Just giving those ice cubes shape. And if you look at the image, or an image of a cocktail in a glass, there are lots of lights and darks and reflections and highlights. That's what makes your painting. And if you have to lift color, you can do that too. Here I'm going into the lemons now with this Indian yellow that I have, and you can see I'm really creating form here. This was one of my favorite parts of painting this painting were the lemons themselves. I'm softening some edges here, adding a little bit more, just making sure I get that form in there. And it really looks very bright on the screen. In person, I don't know if it's that bright. Here I'm working on my sugar cubes to rectify the light situation. Going into my lemons now, adding more upper pink. Typically these lemons are a little more vibrant towards the rind. In some areas they're pretty bright, but just giving them texture here. And really trying to create that rind there that isn't necessarily in my drawing that I did. Still working on form a little bit. More rind work here. Defining the glassware here. And working on this pink lemon. Just adding opera pink here. So now I'm just kind of softening some edges, adding some texture to these lemons with little dots of Indian yellow. Defining my glassware a little bit and giving this a little more contrast. Working to make this look like a very refreshing beverage. And if you don't know where to start when you're painting something like glassware or chrome, really look at your picture, the image that you're painting from or using, and see where those darks are, where the lights are. It's really just a mishmash of value, and once you kind of are able to spot it, it really does improve your drawing skills. So here I'm just adding more pink, more coral color, and adding texture into my lemons. And here I'm adding more coral and oranges to these lemons just to give them some texture and interest. I'm using a small round brush for this. Now I'm working to still fix these sugar cubes. So I'm warming that side up, adding little details here and there. Going in with a little mineral purple to add some more darkness to areas in these lemons. Going in and defining some of these shadows, because everything basically has a shadow. And shadows and highlights make things pop. You'd think I'd get done with this drink a little faster, but it's a long process. And here I am cooling out that side of the sugar cube. Okay, now I'm using my rubber cement pickup. You can pick these up at any hobby store to lift my masking fluid. I just gently rub it against the masking fluid and it lifts it right up. And here I'm going back into those light areas, kind of cleaning up some edges, making some smaller highlights and adding some dimension to my cubes. And adding other little details that I see. And now I'm going to use my gel pen. You can use white, gouache, or ink to add highlights. So if you didn't have masking fluid and you had a gel pen, you could use the gel pen instead. And voila, there's your refreshing pink lemonade. So I hope you got some value out of this tutorial. I know I had fun painting it, and I hope you had fun painting along, or you were inspired to get to painting. So if you like this video and you got value out of it, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see new tutorials, which I'm doing them every week, hit that subscribe button. And if you really loved it, share it with your friends. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you next time.